Today I'm making another classic comfort food that's great anytime, but especially when it's cold outside. Shepherd's pie. Are you ready? Because the kitchen is now open. Come on in. Let's cook up something good.
Yay!
Here are the ingredients for the filling for my shepherd's pie. I know there's a lot of them, but it's so worth the effort. Next, the ingredients for my topping, my creamy mashed potatoes. Check the description for a full list of ingredients. I pour my corn and peas into a strainer and leave them in the sink to drain off as much water as possible. In the meantime, I add my carrots, onion, and olive oil to a large sauté pan and cook over medium-high until the onions start to show some good color. Then I add garlic and stir together. Now I add my ground beef, salt, and pepper and cook until nicely browned. Next, I turn off my heat, drain off as much fat as I can, and then I sprinkle the flour over the meat and toss it until it is well coated and then stir in the rest of the flavorings. I bring this mixture to a boil over high heat, then reduce the heat to low, cover, and simmer for 12 to 15 minutes or until it is lightly thickened. Finally, I stir in my corn and peas, and the filling is complete.
Now let's make our mashed potatoes. I'll cover it briefly in this video, but if you'd like a step-by-step tutorial, I have a full separate video showing exactly how to make these amazing mashed potatoes. Just see the link at the end of this video or in the description.
I peel and rinse my potatoes thoroughly and then cut them into half-inch cubes and add them to a large pot. I cover my potatoes with cold water, then add a lid to my pot and bring that pot to a boil over high heat. Then I reduce the heat to a simmer and cook uncovered for 15 minutes until my potatoes are tender. Then I drain my potatoes and return them to the pot and set it aside. I cut my butter into my half and half, cover with a double layer of plastic wrap, and warm them together for about 30 seconds in the microwave. I separate my eggs because I'm only using the yolks. With the heat off, I use a hand mixer to whip the potatoes until they're smooth. Next, I add my warmed half and half, butter, salt, and pepper, and whip until my potatoes are smooth and fluffy. Finally, I whip in the egg yolks until fully blended. And don't worry, they're safe to eat. And now, my potatoes are done! While my oven is heating up to 400 degrees, I add my filling to a large baking pan and spoon my mashed potatoes on top around the edges first, making sure that the edges are sealed with potatoes and that there are no gaps. Then I use the rest of my potatoes to cover the rest of the filling, and it's off to the oven for 25 minutes or until the potatoes are nicely browned.
This recipe isn't hard, but it does take some time, so I recommend you make it on a day off, even if you freeze it and bake it later after school or work. Believe me, it will bring them happily to the dinner table where family is built, because if you feed them this, they will come. Now that's what I call a food hug.